Yo, what's up, my friends? All right, man. Welcome to another video on how to build your dream business. This one's gonna be pretty good. I like this one. It's gonna be, man, it's gonna be a lot of brain work. I'm not gonna lie to you. So before we even get started, let me go ahead and take all the pressure off of us and make sure that you know we're gonna have a little fun while we learn. You know what I'm saying? So, sipping on a little bit of a local craft here, IPA called Art Car from St. Arnold Brewery. And yeah, today's video is going to be about how to figure out the rest of what we're going to do, right? So I thought about doing this in one big video, and I was like, there's no way we can do this in one video. It'd probably just take way too long to do it. So I'm going to break it into two separate videos. So this will be part one of it. And what we're going to do is this is going to set us up for the next video. So the next video, we're actually going to get into how many leads we're going to need, how many sales we're going to need, how we're going to, how much money is it going to cost us every single month. We're going to start to figure that out. But today we're going to lay the framework for that. So, all right, hold on. Oh yeah, I poured it a little bit too fast. So I got a little bit of foam right there. It's all good though. So yeah, let's hop right into this. This may be a little bit, I'm going to try to keep this right around the 10-15 minute part mark. And then the next video will go in a little bit deeper. But this is going to be a very, very important video. So let me just, real quick, let's get into this. Building your dream business. Man, I'm not sure. Actually, let's, one of the things that I hear often when I'm talking to business owners is when I say, hey man, like what exactly is your dream business? What does that look like, right? And then when sometimes they know, sometimes they don't, and if they do know, I say, well, okay, what does that look like, right? And usually it's gonna sound something like, well, man, I want to do, and I'm going to use easy math for you guys. So these are fictitious numbers, by the way, but easy math. I want to do somewhere around $120,000 this year, right? And the common sense thing would be like, well, okay, I need to make $10,000 a month, okay? And this is what we're going to go over today is this, and let's just go ahead and jump right into it because building your dream business, and this is what we're going to call the breakdown. So here we go on building your dream business. So let's just say, like, just easy math, we have a revenue goal of $120,000. Well, most people look at it and say, okay, January I need to do 10,000. February I need to do 10,000. Every single month I need to do $10,000 if I'm going to make that $120,000. And let me just say this makes perfect sense to me. This is what I thought when I first started the business, right? But that is not the case. What ends up happening is this is, let me go back over here. This is exactly, not exactly, but this is more of what it should look like, right? Instead of $10,000 a month that you see here in January going all the way to December, this is more of an accurate look. And then this is what we're going to work on today, because once we figure out what this looks like, what this means, man, this is going to open up the door for us to do a bunch of other stuff, right? And predict the future, not just hope and wish, but actually predict the future. So yesterday we learned how many customers it's going to take us, right? And then as we learn this formula here, this is going to set us up for the rest of it. So this is the way it should look. January, 36, and I'm going to share with you how we came up with those numbers and what that looks like. So if we go back to that, let's go back to that, right? You see how January is $3,600 and then April's $12,000, right? So if you look at this chart here, it's almost, you can kind of see here in January, it's very little sales, right? April, it's a lot more sales, right? This is the winter months. This is the spring month. So it's not going to be the same every single month, and it's our job to kind of figure out, use our data to figure out, and we're going to learn what this is, right? We're going to learn together how to do this, but it's our job to figure out what the reality is so that way we can predict the future. So what we need to do, and this is cut off a little bit, so I apologize for that. It says, what percent of your revenue represents each month? Okay, so you see there it says 3% there, right? So this right here is where, this is where it gets really important, okay? I thought about doing a whole breakdown, but man, I don't want to make these videos so long that it just bores you to death. So what you're going to want to do is if you're a brand new company, feel free to use some of the data that we provide for you. Now, I'm in Houston, so my numbers may be way different than somebody that's like in New Jersey or Minnesota or Michigan, because it gets really cold there in the winter months. They work maybe 8-10 months. I work year round. So our numbers may be a little bit different, but you'll know that in this, you can kind of tell in the wintertime, it's slower than it is in the springtime. Summer takes a little bit of dip, and then, fall right back at it again, right? So all these things, right? Once you learn the what I like to call the Rocky Mountain highs and lows, right? Once you learn these things, you can literally start to predict the future. So when I say, let's put the percentage, let's represent each month in some kind of percent, what I'm looking at when I'm saying that is, remember, if we go back over here, January's little sales, right? February is a little bit more. March is a little bit more. April's a little bit more. So then what did that translate to for us is, once we took all of our data for the last 5 or 6 years, we're learning that January, 3% of our revenue comes from there, right? Now, I made 2 different ones. So if you want to have a total revenue goal of $120,000, that would be the top line. And, I did one for $500,000 just so you can kind of see what that looks like, right? So 4% of our revenue comes in February. 5% comes in March. 10% comes in April. So what that means is I don't have to do $10,000 every single month. Matter of fact, again, you shouldn't be doing $10,000 every single month, because in your busy seasons, like in springtime, man, you should be slamming, right? So you should be doing, in your slow season, it's slow. And it's like, okay, so we go back to this over here. So now we know 3%. So I don't have to make $10,000. That takes a little bit of pressure off of me, right? If I'm trying to do $120,000 in total revenue, I don't have to do $10,000 in January. Man, this makes life a whole lot easier for me now. So now when I'm starting to, okay, man, I just need to do $3,600 this month. Now I just need to do $4,800. But well, Chris, I still have bills to pay. Well, yeah, you need to think about those bills when you're in September, October, November doing $53,000. Does that make sense? So this is where this is only 11% of your income right here, by the way, guys. So anyways, so so the whole idea, let me make sure, let's go back over here. So the whole idea on doing this, guys, is that, and I think this number is actually wrong, dude. That should be it's not 53,000. We took the numbers and made them simple numbers, and I guess I didn't put the right code in there. So anyways, I was like, man, $53,000 for $120,000 in revenue. That's crazy. But now that makes sense to me. So, the whole idea, guys, is to be able to predict the future month after month, right? So we know, if we know that, $3,600 needs to come in January, but, in June and July, we need to start, that's when we start to, save and put away some money, right? So, the whole idea about this, guys, if this is what we were able to do with all this information. So we were able to put our revenue goal up there. Now that says 700 new customers. That's not really 700 new customers. That's just 700 total customers that we need. And so we were able to predict the future. And I'll give you a little bit of like a what it looks like up close. So January So if you go back here, right, to $500,000, we don't need to make $50,000 every single month or somewhere around there, 485 or 48,000. We don't need to make $45,000 every single month, right? We just need to make $15,000 in January. We need to make $15,000 in February, March, 35,000. And then we also know, and this is where we're going to get into tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure that we set up this core foundation, because without this information here, it's not going to make any sense if we move any further, right? So I'm going to share with you, how do I know 30 customers, right? And that's going to come in tomorrow's videos. How do I know I need to get 70 customers? And the cool part about this is we're going to figure out the truck. Like, man, I know in March we need 2 trucks, right? We need to start going to 3 trucks as the busier we get, right? Here's our weekly goal, 3,750. Our monthly goal, 50,000. And then we actually even have our daily goal on there as well, but it wasn't on this particular one here. Let me see if we can go back, and I think we can, yeah, you can see daily goal, like $2,500 there, 2,250 here, 1,750. So I mean, I already know 8 months out, 10 months out what I need to do. I already have a prediction. Like, I need 70 customers. I need 2 trucks coming in that month, right? So we're not hoping, we're not wishing. We're literally taking the data that we have, and we're building a process, because numbers don't lie, people do, right? And we're literally taking those numbers and we're saying, okay, that makes sense. 3% of our revenue comes in this month. 16% of our revenue comes in this month. 11% of our revenue comes, and once again, guys, once you figure this out, man, now you can literally start to build your dream business, man. So, man, I hope this has helped. This is what your homework is right now. Your homework is go through, and however old you are, right? Go through, if you're 5 years old, go through the last 5 years and write down all of January's, all of February's, all of March's, and take the average of those. Right. And then this is what we're going to find is, like, what is the average of that? Right. And then you're going to figure out what your yearly revenue was for each one of those years. If you're 5 years old, what was your revenue for that year, right? And you're going to see what your total revenue was for, January. What was it for February? What was it for March? And then, so now you have a real calculation. You'll start to even see, that you're growing too, right? So like in January 2015, when we started, we did $0 in sales, right? But then January 2016, I think we did $12,000 in sales, right? So it's kind of like these numbers get, kind of sometimes as you grow, but you can still compare them this way. Like, January is always slower than March and April. And now we know, like, okay, 3% of our revenue, we didn't just guess that. We actually came up with, like, okay, 3% of our revenue. We took all the averages and we averaged it out and said 3% of our revenue comes in January. Wow. And then we were even able to say, because in the slower months, typically, what we hear is July and August is slow for other people, but 16% of our revenue comes in July. That was crazy for us, considering like only 12% comes in April. So we're like, man, I swear. But I think we figured out why. It's because we do more commercial jobs in the summertime when it gets slower in residential work. And in residential season, springtime, we're just slamming the residential jobs out. So our average ticket price increases in the summertime because of that commercial work. But man, this is the cool part about it. That's even the cool part about that, guys, is we start to predict the future and using numbers to do it, using data to do it, not hoping, not wishing. Literally taking what we have and building. All right, so that's it for this video, guys. Your homework is go and figure it out. Go figure out. Let's get back over there. Right here. Go figure this out. What is each one represent? And let me see if I can. All right, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Lost the video. So let me get this back over here. And so it's like $3,600. It says $3,600 there. So we'll go 3,600 divided into 120,000 equals 0.03, which translates into 3%. You see how we did that? So you can say the next one, 4,800, right? So let's go clear it out. Say 4,800. If you did that in February, and whatever your yearly revenue was, divide that in there. We have a, it's a fictitious number here of 120,000 just as an example. So boom, 0.04, which translates to 4%. So you see how, so that's your homework, is to go through and see exactly what each month represents as a percentage. And this is going to set us up for the whole rest of what we're going to do, which is pretty awesome. And that's how many leads need to come in so that way we can make the sales that we need so we can generate that revenue, right? And then it's well, then how many employees are we going to need, right? And how many trucks, how much money is this going to cost us every month? Dude, this is going to be able to open up so many doors for us to go out and build our dream business. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate the time that you're spending with me. I really do enjoy it. Alcohol, business, and conversation, ABCs of life. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate it. I look forward to helping you grow your dream business, and I look forward to getting rid of those hopes and wishes, man. You ain't got to hope anymore. You can literally build this thing, predict it, and it could be an awesome 2020. It could be an awesome decade for you. So, hey guys, much love to you, and we'll see you on the next video. Make sure to subscribe to the videos. Check out the last video. Make sure that you join our email list at thecopycatentrepreneur.org, where there's a lot of free content there, and then also thecopycatentrepreneur.com. Hey guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.